Welcome to this introduction video to maker CHEBURKOV, Alexander CHEBURKOV, well-renowned Russian knife maker of both fixed blades and folders. And in this video we're going to take a look at 5 of his fixed blades and 11 of his folders. So what you saw here in the beginning, the first minute or two of this video, were like, I'd say around 100 CHEBURKOV knives, courtesy of Lamia. And in this video I don't have all those knives, but like I stated, I do have at least quite a few to take a closer look at. My history with CHEBURKOV knives started not long ago at all. I mean, this is a maker that has been active for a long time, and I myself was thinking of picking up my first folder by him like, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but I didn't know about him way back. But that was, like 1 or 2 years ago, I really was, close to picking my first folder up. But as we all know, there are tons of interesting knives and makers, etc. And I've been more into fixed blades than folders, at least until, yeah, like 1 or 2 years ago, perhaps. So, I mean, I took my time, and, I feel like well, with the knowledge I have now and with the hands-on experience I have with CHEBURKOV knives, I kinda, wished I would have gotten my first CHEBURKOV a lot earlier. Anyway, when I did buy my first CHEBURKOV, I didn't buy just one. I bought 1, 2, and 3 folders at the same time, as well as 1 fixed blade. So, I mean, that was a pretty solid start, so to say. And these boxes are actually empty right now because I have my knives in just a random no-name black pouch like this. But needless to say, I was quite impressive by his work, both in terms of folders and fixed blades. And today I got some more knives from him. So I got 1, 2, 3 more folders, as well as 1, 2, and 3 more fixed blades. So that means that I now have 6 folders from CHEBURKOV and 6 folders, yeah, and 4 fixed blades. That was a tongue twister of sorts. So we're gonna take a look at these in the video, but there is actually more to it. So let's remove these for now. In this video, we will also take a look at 5 additional more folders that I do not own, but that I have been given permission to just show off here in this introduction video, so that you guys and girls can see as many different models as possible and see some comparisons, etc., which might make it easier for you to find the folder that suits you and your preferences and uses the absolute best. And we're also going to take a look at 1 extra fixed blade, also that I have been given permission to show you guys. These knives will be, like I said, just for show. These knives, I will not cut anything with them, I will not do anything with them like that. I'm just gonna do a light unboxing, show it to you, show you some details, etc. But the other knives I will make individual reviews of. In fact, I have already, when I'm recording this introduction video, I have already made 4 videos of these 3 folders and this fixed blade, and I think that each review for these are like 1 or 1.5 hour long, so it's gonna be a lot of Cheburkov here on my channel for the next coming week or weeks. And I think that's a good addition, because there are not that many videos where people actually put these knives to any type of use. So I feel like I'm, trying to make a difference of sorts. So let's do some unboxing. We can do the unboxing, I will place them here, and next second they will be all unboxed. Here we have the 3 folders and the 1 fixed blade unboxed, or well, not unsheathed and not folded, but regardless. So these knives have all been put to the test. I've done a lot of food prep with these one. I've done some woodwork, I've done some carving, feather sticking with every knife here, and paper slicing. Yeah, I've done quite a lot of stuff. So these are not like new in box anymore, although they all look and perform like they were new out of the box. All of them shaving sharp still. So here we have quite a fancy looking folder. This is the Ruski, Cheburkov Ruski, which translates to Russian, the Russian, I guess. This is the regular size. There's also a mini Russian. I did not include it in this video, but for your information, if you like this design but you feel like the knife looks kind of on the large size, then there is in fact a mini version of it. This one is with a Damascus blade, titanium bolster and carbon fiber inlays. It is a bolster lock, like a liner lock sort. The blade is perfectly centered. Got some really smooth closing action, really nice opening action, 0 blade play, and just overall really solid. And of course with a pocket clip as well, and small like integrated lanyard holes. It's not a visible lanyard hole. This one is offered in a wide variety of handle materials, with or without bolsters, and also with frame lock rather than this bolster lock or liner lock. And I will say that this one is slightly thicker than the plain titanium or plain carbon fiber handles that are frame locks. The Ruski. Next up we have the Cheburkov Goodson. I know it's called Hudson on Cheburkov's own homepage, but many other places list this as Goodson, and that is the name that I'm going with. This is, for the record, my favorite design and favorite knife by Cheburkov. I'm gonna go into that later, but I actually bought a second one with also with a carbon fiber handle. This one has some regular carbon fiber, which is still really nice looking, and an M390 blade. The other one I got now today has marble carbon fiber and Damascus blade, so I do get some variety. This is with a rather thin handle. It is a frame lock design. It got some super smooth opening and closing action. It's like a large gentleman's pocket knife of sort, but I mean it is definitely on the large size. I mean, I have large hands, size 10. Lots of room on this handle, no doubt. And I mean, while the design can look kind of plain, it really, this is, to me, this is the true definition of simple elegancy. I mean, it's just, clean lines, no jimping, no unnecessary things, just, you know, in my opinion, simple perfection. And I think I'm gonna get a third one with titanium handle and with I'm not sure if I'm gonna go M390 blade or Damascus blade, but I will get one more, because this is just, well, it's definitely my style, and we all have different styles, of course. Totally centered blade, no blade play, of course, just, you know, really nice. No lock rock or anything on these folders. Next up, we have something quite different. I was talking about, you know, simple designs, elegant knife, gentleman pocket knife, etc. This is probably as far away as that you can come. This is not usually my style, but I had to I had to go with this one. So this is the CHEBURKOV Medved. And Medved translates to bear, like a beast of a folder, and this one really is, it is quite heavy. I don't have all the specs in my head here, but it's easily over 200 grams, maybe like 220 grams. So this is quite heavy, whereas, you know, this one is feather light compared to it. So let's open it up, shall we? So it got some recoil almost when you open it up. So this is full titanium M390 blade, like a Bowie clip point style blade. Some milling here on the handle, pocket clip, etc. Lanyard hole, frame lock. Really nice opening and closing action on this one. Let's see. But it is kind of on the heavy side too. I mean, to open up, it's a lot of blade to push up, and you have to be kind of careful not to press on the lock bar here when you open it up, because that will make it a bit trickier to open up. You got some semi-aggressive jimping going on here. Yeah, like I said, frame lock, did I say that? I'll say it now, if not. Really nice, smooth closing action. Almost hydraulic. Perfectly centered blade. Just a real, you know, beast of a knife. It feels, to me, it feels, you know, almost indestructible in a sense. But you could, of course, break it if you try hard. But this is, to me, this is like a heavy-duty knife. Interestingly enough, and as you will be able to see in my video review of it, it can do, you know, surprisingly fine work. And I mean, it is. One wouldn't think that this is, you know, that it is a good, decent, great slicer, but it slices surprisingly well, I'd say. And that will be quite obvious in the video review I've made of this one. And I do recommend you to watch the video review if you are interested in this knife, because this knife is more than meets the eye. And I will say right away that, you know, the milling here, I wonder if you can open it like, yeah. So the milling here might look uncomfortable. That was my, you know, probably my main concern when I ordered this knife, that, you know, I wonder how it will feel in my hand. But it's quite, you know, rounded. There are no like sharp edges or anything here. It might look like it, but it's not. So I mean, to me it's not something I've gotten any hotspots from or anything like that. But, you know, if you're interested in this knife, then I highly recommend you to watch my my complete video review of the Medved, or the bear. Next up here we have the CHEBURKOV Eger, which means, oh man, I keep forgetting if it is hunter or huntsman, but it is one of those two, no doubt. So this one, as you can see, has a nice Damascus blade. The steel here is ZDI 1016 for those interested. I've done some work with this steel. It has held up quite well for both woodwork, food prep, wood carving, etc. Wood carving and feather sticking and stuff like that. No issues whatsoever. It also has a really nice titanium bolster with some nice pattern to it. So well it can be seen. It can be seen very well in my individual video of this specific model. And then we have a birch, Mazur birch handle, which is actually quite nice. Full tang, no jimping. A piece of art, or a piece of functional art, I'd say. A really nice fixed blade that comes also with a very nice high quality leather sheath with this dangler here, and I am a fan of danglers on my sheath, and I'm also a fan of these sort of pouch sheath with no snaps or anything. You know, it's simple but highly functional in my personal opinion. So these are I really wanted them all to fit here in the. So these are the blades, my first experiences with CHEBURKOV, and as you probably understand, I had some great first experience, which is why I now have doubled or more my my collection of users. They're all users, but they can of course be collected since they are all pieces of art. But let's go over the knives that I bought myself here to keep, and after that we can look into the knives that I have just for show, so to say. Here we see the new addition to my CHEBURKOV collection, the 3 folders and the 3 fixed blades. And I think we're gonna start with the folders actually. So let's remove the fixed blades for now and let's focus on these 3. So one of them is, as I mentioned earlier, another Goodson or Hudson, depending on well, how you say it. And that's this one, also in carbon fiber, like I said, but this is marbled carbon fiber, titanium, and a really nice, really nice Damascus blade. Looks kind of like Dama steel, to be honest. Sure how well it can be seen. So this is, man, it's beautiful. I mean, it's, you know, looking at it like this, it is perfection, in my opinion. And like I stated, I am going to get a third one. I want one with pure titanium, or like, you know, overall titanium, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to go M390 or Damascus. I mean, in the best of worlds, I would pick up two more, but that is perhaps a bit excessive, so to say. But I mean, this knife is perfection. Totally centered blade, no blade play, great opening, great closing action. I mean, it's gonna break in even more. So, but out of the box, really nice. Really nice action, I'd say, definitely. So another good song. Really nice. Probably, or not probably, this is, right now this is my favorite folder out of all my folders. But I'm gonna make a top 10 video at some point, and in maybe like a few weeks or a month or two, and then we will see how it places it. But it is, you know, it is exactly what I'm looking for in a folder. And maybe we should actually keep it at the table here. I don't have to put it in the box actually. So next up we have, actually we have 2 of the same model here. This one is called Voron, which translates to raven. And this is a knife that I've been interested in for some time as well, and Actually, I had 3 Ravens in this complete package, but these were the 2 I went with for myself. I asked for the 3rd one just to show different, handle and blade materials. But let's take a look at these 2. This is a pretty large knife as well. I mean, the goods on here is not a small knife, but we can see that it is actually smaller than the Raven. And the Raven got its name for its look here. If you take a look here, it looks kind of like a bird shape of sort here with its beak. So this one is in regular carbon fiber with a Damascus blade. All the Damascus blades are in the same steel, ZDI 1016. That goes for all the blades on both fixed knives and folders. So as you can see, this is a really large knife. Got a lot of handle space there. I got some jimping going on top here. Bit of a finger groove. I should have mentioned that. I mean, there's you have a finger groove here as well on the Goodson and on many of the other designs, but I didn't mention it because it was perhaps, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious when you see the knife up close. Did I speak anything about the backspacer? Anyway, this is what the backspacer looks on this one. You got a pocket clip here, and you have no lanyard hole on this one. Not that I really care, to be honest, because I don't use lanyards, but some people do, and I mean, to them it could be, perhaps a deal breaker of sorts. I'm not quite sure, but to me it is absolutely not an issue whatsoever. So the action is really nice, both closing and opening. Frame lock, as can be seen here. Good lockup, or yeah, I mean, it's sometimes the lockup is a bit, it looks kind of risky, but it really isn't. No lock stick. Excellent blade centering. Very, very nice. I was thinking about, is this going to be a new favorite of sorts? I mean, I really did like the look. It looks kind of cooler than the Goodson here, but to me, this is my favorite knife. This is in my opinion, the superior design. But this one is probably a close second. So let's take a look at, at this one. Like I stated, this is also a Raven, but in full titanium instead. Also with a Damascus blade though. Nice opening, closing action out of the box. Good lockup. As always, excellent centering. No blade play. No blade play. And let's take a look here, just for variety reasons. Let's see here. Here we can see some different placements actually of the screws on these two. I mean, it's the same torque screws, but the placement is a bit different. Kind of close placement, a bit wider placement, and you will see another placement of the screws on the third Raven that I have available in this video. So that's just showing a bit of different, variations to it. So let's put the folders aside and go with the fixed blades next. So here we have the 3 fixed blades from CHEBURKOV. The first one on top here is the Scandinav. The second one is the I think, I'm not quite sure about the name, because when I got it translated, it showed like Aquilon or something. But since most of the knives are named after animals, I was thinking about, if it was called the Aqua Lion, which would be a random translation of, a sea lion. But I'm unsure about the model name here, to be fully honest. The third one here is called the MCH3, and I honestly have no clue what MCH stands for, but there are 3 different designs of this knife. I am most fond of the MCH2, which I have on order right now, but I couldn't help picking this one up when it was available. And now I am quite fond of it, to be completely honest. So let's start from top to bottom here. This is the Scandinav, and that is a knife that suits me well, since I do live in Scandinavia. The sheath design here is a dangler sheath, once again, pretty high quality leather, thick leather, sturdy leather, feels high quality, and it smells kind of high quality as well. So let's take a look at the knife here. This was the first fixed blade that got me interested in CHEBURKOV knives, but I was too slow to buy it. It was sold out when I reached for the buy it button, but now I got my second chance here about 2 years later. But better late than never. In this case, I'm quite happy to be late to the party, because the party is pretty wild, to be honest here. So this knife is offered in different handle materials. This one is carbon fiber. Some really nice carbon fiber, no voids or anything, with a titanium, not really pommel, but sort of, pommel-like thing here, and a pommel bolster. The steel of this knife is M390. I don't have the full specs here. I have the certificate of authenticity in another room, but the knife is not, it's not a small knife. I mean, it's quite lengthy for this, this design. And the steel used here is, oh, did I already mention it? Well, if I did, doesn't matter. It is M390, which is one of my favorite steels, especially for folders, but I'm quite, curious to test it out on a fixed blade as well. So this one is going to make for a really interesting video review. I honestly can't wait to put it to use. A really nice looking Scandinavian design knife. This was a must-have for me. Yeah, let's take a closer look here. The Scandinav in M390, titanium bolster and pommel of sorts, and carbon fiber. Quite nice, quite nice. So next up we have the unknown model in a fantastic looking sheath. Hope this translates well over to the camera, because this is, man, why don't all knives from CHEBURKOV come with a sheath like this? Because this is a work of art. You have the CHEBURKOV emblem, you have some really nice patterns going on here. This, darkened leather here, it got a really, unique sort of look to it. I'm not sure how well it translates over here, but it is, you know, it gives, you know, a good wow effect out of, you know, when you unbox it, so to say. Dangler design here as well, and you cannot remove the dangler on any of the sheaths, but you know, probably shouldn't have to anyway. So I'm gonna say that this one is called, either it's called Aquilon or something, or Aqualion or Sea Lion. I'm gonna try to look into the model name. But let's unsheath this one and look at what we have here. So we have now moved away from the carbon fiber. We are venturing back into wooden handle scales. This is also the only knife I have with mosaic pins from CHEBURKOV. I'm not sure how often he uses mosaic pins, but I like mosaic pins. There are designs, mosaic pins designs that I don't like very much, but this one, I mean, it goes well with overall design and feel of the knife. Full tang, titanium bolster here, nicely patterned. Much as, you know, the Scandinav, and well, I think CHEBURKOV makes most of his knives in M390 blades or ZDI 1016. Those are the two types of steel that he works with, so to say. Give me 1 second here. Is my camera acting up? So my camera might be acting up a bit. I'm not sure if it's overheating or if it's something else, but hopefully we will be able to finish what we started here. Yeah, so let's take a slightly closer look at what we have. This knife here displayed has a bit of a darker finish than some others, right? Looks kind of, you know, stonewash of sorts. There's no jimping or anything going on. Slightly rounded spine. Quite comfortable in the hand. I wear size 10, fairly large hands. Fits my hand quite nicely. You know, you get a really, you know, good solid grip here. So and the handle has some slight contouring going on. Let's see if we can perhaps, yeah, you can see it here. The contouring of sorts, which makes for, you know, a slightly more comfortable grip in your hand. We can actually look at the blade finish is probably the same here as well. You know, it's not really, you know, super satin. Anyways, I'm just gonna show this again with my hand here. Like I said, size 10, large hands, lots of space here on this knife, lots of handle space. So that is it for now. We can go deeper into the specs and everything. I can try to specify it somewhere. I don't want to get this video to be too lengthy, and we are going to make individual reviews anyway. So we put it back into the fantastic looking sheath. I mean, this is, wow. Last, we have the MCH3. Man, I really do wonder what that stands for. And here we have another type of sheath design. We have no dangler here. Did I say that all of the sheaths had danglers for the knives made by CHEBURKOV? Perhaps I did. Well, this one does not have a dangler, and it also has this snap, so it's not a pouch, and it is a sheath design that I'm not super fond of. And this one is, you cannot, you know, hide it anywhere. So it is, well, it's not a favorite in sheath design, but the knife itself more than makes up for the sheath design. So this knife is more of a, you know, tactical knife of sorts. Carbon fiber, titanium bolster, very stout, thick, compact, heavy. You got some jimping going on different places here of the handle, probably for like also, you know, reverse grip, etc. You have your lanyard hole here cut out, and usually I'm not a fan when you cut out a part of the actual handle. I prefer to have the full handle, but since the handle is so big, or not big but long, it doesn't really, this does not become an issue. This does not become a hotspot or anything, and it's also nicely rounded regardless. But when I saw it first, I was not a fan of this. I felt like, this could become an issue, but it did not become an issue. So M390 blade, rather large, large knife, heavy knife, pretty wide blade, but compact. You got a swedge grind going on here. You can see the full thickness, which goes here, and then we go into the swedge. It should be visible here. My screen is almost black. It's almost turning off because it's either saving energy or something like that. But hopefully you can get a general idea of what this knife looks like. And regular carbon fiber here. Once again, no voids or anything. Super clean. You cannot feel the transition here with the bolster or the pins. Really nice and smooth. Really surprisingly good ergos. I like this one a lot more than I thought I would, and I seriously can't wait for the MCH2, which I think will be even nicer. But this is just, yeah, really nice. So let's try and place all the 3 knives here in the camera. Perhaps we should have changed. It kind of annoys me also that this one is in the middle. I was, aiming originally to go for, large, medium, smaller. So let me just switch the camera a bit here. So here we go. Scandinav MCH3 and Aqualion, Sea Lion. Well, I'm not sure, but all of these 3 are really nice, well-made knife, exceptional fit and finish, exceptional materials for both handles and blade. Great ergos, comfort, etc. So right now I just can't wait to put them all to good use, and there will be individual video reviews, make no mistake. But let's wrap this up and check out the knives that I have been given permission to show off, so you can get a feel for, if you have seen nothing that you really like, maybe something of the knives that I will show now might catch your attention, or maybe not. So here we have some really nice folders and a really nice fixed blade. And if I had a possibility, I would have bought everything here on the table. But as it is, I can't do that right now. But I can give you people a nice look at some of the models that will be available at a later point, or maybe when this video is indeed posted. Like I stated here, I do not have all the nice knives that was shown in the beginning of this video, because that was perhaps 100 knives in total, and I had to pick some to show you, some knives that to me are interesting or stylish or useful, etc. So let's start with, maybe we should actually start with the fixed blade, since it's just one, and then we can move over into the folders, perhaps. Let's, or maybe we should just unbox everything here right away. Yeah. Let's start with the folder. That is how it will be. So here we have the, well, I don't know the name in Russian actually, but I do know the English name, and it's rhinoceros or rhino. So that is kind of a beast of an animal. And the sheath here is of the dangler style that we've seen before, but it also has a snap clip to it. And once again, this is not something that you can, you know, or perhaps you could hide it a bit like this so you don't cut it when you open the knife. But it's not something that can be, you know, easily pulled up or down or, you know, like that. Nice sheath as always, you know, good quality leather. So let's take a look at the knife here. This is a work of art or beauty. Damascus steel, hidden tang, wooden handle, titanium bolster, pattern bolster. Let's see, like this. Quite an interesting blade shape and design. Finger groove. I have, like I always say, large size 10 hands. Fits my hand quite nicely. I realize now, you know, when I sit here and have the knife in my hand looking at it, that maybe this one isn't going back after all. Maybe I need to add this one. I'll have to give it some serious thought, because it is an exceptional looking blade. I mean, it is, yeah, like I said, truly a work of art, and it's quite comfortable in my hand as well. So I mean, yeah, I might have to pick this blade up. Sorry guys, I am like 60% sure I'm gonna pick this one up now. But we will see. And if I do pick it up, you will see an individual video review of it, of course. But it is a stunning looking fixed blade. Great ergos. Yeah, take a look at that, huh? It's exceptional. Exceptional work. I kind of wish the sheath design was a bit different, but I guess you can't, you know, have everything, can you? Maybe you can. So, Rhino, very, very stylish. Great ergos. Let's move on to the folders, and let's hope that I do not say like, oh well, I feel like this is, you know, an exceptional knife that I really have to own, so I'm gonna pick it up as well, because well, that should not happen, because honestly I can't afford it. So that is simply, you know, that is the reason, plain and simple. These knives are not yet labeled on the box, so I'm not quite sure which one is which. I could guess. Let's see, this one should be the Scout. This one, this one should be the Scout. This one should be a Raven. This one should be a small Spritz. This one should be a Bulldog, and this one should be a Hummingbird. I could be all wrong, but I'm gonna, yeah, let's see. Let's start with this one. I'm gonna open the box careful now, because I am not the owner of this knife. I just get the honor to show it. Maybe we should actually zoom in a bit on the camera here. This looks better, more zoomed in. So, did I say Scout? I don't have a Scout, I meant Wolf. So I was semi-right. This is the Wolf with its certificate of authenticity here. And as you can see, there are two prints here in the titanium. Two prints of wolf claws. Steps, yeah. Well, let's see. Let's unbox it. This one is, as you can see, full titanium with bronze hardware. This is a large knife. This is probably a friend to the medved, to the bear that I showed you earlier in this video. So let's open this one up, shall we? Really nice opening action. As you can see, the blade here is a bit different from the other blades we have seen. This one is, of course, as most of you have guessed by now, laminated steel. Makes for, a pretty unique look. This is a heavy knife. It is a frame lock. It is a knife with, oh, look at that. Incredibly smooth opening. And closing action, almost hydraulic. The blade is perfectly centered. You got your pocket clip here. You do not have a lanyard hole on this one. You do have a backspacer, looks like this, with some jimping like on here. You also have some jimping on, some really minor jimping on the flipper tab. There is no blade play, and like I stated, I'm not gonna play around with this knife a lot. I just want to show it to you, to show you the fit and finish, the craftsmanship. Like I said, as always, size 10 in gloves, fairly large hands. You have a lot of space here, 2 more fingers can be placed here. Really ergonomical in hand. You got some jimping going on here. Not too aggressive, but still gives you a fair bit of grip. In a sort of, bowie, almost, clip pointy-ish design. The wolf. I want to own a wolf one day, but I think I'm gonna have to wait a few months or more. So next up we have what I think, just feeling the weight of this one, is a raven. And we have already seen 2 ravens, right? But this raven is different from the 2 we have seen. Yeah, this is a raven with its certificate of authenticity. So this raven here is in carbon fiber and titanium, but it is different. Not only the the placement of the screws. The other 2 had screw or screw. This one is slightly different, but that is not the main difference. The placement of the screws. It is the weight and the thickness of the scales here. These are thicker scales, more rounded scales. It feels the hand differently. Let's open it up, shall we? Super nice action, closing action. No blade play. Nice closing action. 100% center blade. Really nice ergos. So if you like the design of the Raven, but you know that you like, slightly thicker scales of swords or more, rounded scales, then I would recommend you to go with this version. And it's offered in, this is black carbon fiber. It's also offered in some type of black and red carbon fiber. Not quite sure, but I've seen it was visible in the video in the beginning when we saw all the different models. You could see there were some other types of scales that were still carbon fiber but with another color palette of sorts. I wouldn't mind owning this one, but I already own 2 Ravens, and I'd rather get a folder model that I do not own at all, or an additional goods on. So this is a little bit hard to justify right now, but excellent action, fit and finish. It's it's really nice. Frame lock. Not sure you could see that before, but it is of course a frame lock. Really nice fit and finish. Exceptional work. So that was a Raven. So next up, well, I'm not 100% sure what is in this box, just judging by weight, but we shall soon find out, right? So this is a really interesting model. I'm quite certain I'm gonna pick this one up in the future as well. What we have here is the Bulldog. This is not a very large knife, as you can see, but it is super compact. It's actually quite heavy. I'm not sure if they specify the weight here on the certificate of authenticity. Usually they do not, and that is the case here as well. But this one it's heavy, despite its smaller size. The Bulldog. Will you look at that? The true definition of a compact folder, right? M390 steel, full titanium scales. This one is of course offered in carbon fiber, regular, marble, etc. It's also offered with Damascus steel, laminated steel. So you can get quite a few different varieties. You can get bronze hardware, etc. So, but this one is plain, just plain titanium. Frame lock, as you can see, the opening action was quite nice. The closing action could be interesting on such a small knife. It is not bad at all. So grip in hand. This one is a 3-finger grip with a 4th finger here, down here. No hot spots. You actually get quite a good grip here. No jimping, and there is a bit of a swedge going on quite early here. You can see the full thickness of the blade here, and then we have the swedge grind going on right away here. So this is, it is a different design. I don't think I've ever seen any folder quite like this one, and I am getting more and more into small folders. So this is, I wouldn't mind keeping this one. I really would like to keep it, But it's it's hard to justify it right now for a few different reasons. Money being the obvious one, of course. But a really stout little knife, I'd say. A compact beast. The Bulldog. Yeah, it's in the name as well. You obviously have your little lanyard extension here. And that could be a good thing on, since it's such a small, although compact folder, I could definitely see the use for a lanyard for this one. But like I said, the Argos is surprisingly good for such a small, compact folder. No blade play, pretty smooth opening and closing. Blade is perfectly centered. So the Bulldog. So next up, which one is which? I think we're gonna go with that one. I think this is the small Stris, but I can be, yeah, I am actually mistaken. This is in fact the Hummingbird or Colibri, depending on how you want to call it. And as you probably understand, Colibri, Hummingbird, small life, small bird. I mean, not super small, but I mean, it depends on what you compare it to. This one has, as you can see, titanium all over, but it is patterned. Let's see if we can get it zoomed in. This is not easy. So let's see now. So it has not a smooth surface. It has a patterned surface of sorts here. Probably to provide some extra grip of sorts. You got your lanyard hole here, once again, since it is such a small knife, I totally see the usage for a lanyard. So let's open this little beast up. It's still a 4-finger knife, so it's not, super small, it's just not very large. Super nice action. Very, very, pointy, stabby sorts. You can obviously see it has a really nice Damascus blade. Once again, this knife can of course be offered in Damascus, laminated steel, M390, and with different, I think at least, different handle materials, and like bronze hardware or brass hardware, etc. Can you use this? Yeah, you can place your this gives actually for quite a good grip. Nice little knife. Frame lock, obviously. Really nice opening action. Closing action is not bad either. Very snappy opening. Really, really nice. Could definitely see myself keeping this one. Man, why does it always get to be like this when I think I've decided what I want to keep, what I know what I bought, but then, I stand with these sorts of things and I feel like, yeah, I should probably, yeah, maybe I should buy this one as well now that I have the chance, etc. Dang it. Yeah, so I might buy this one actually. So, but there are more. So don't, it's not like I'm buying the only one. There are more of them. But I would probably keep this one as well. Perfectly centered blade. No blade play. A sweet little, slicer or stabber, should you want to. the hummingbird or colibri, probably the same bird anyways. I'm gonna pack it down here, but it is quite likely that this one is gonna stay with me and that I'm gonna buy it. It was one of those knives that I had a really hard time making up my mind if I should have bought from the beginning with the others or not, but yeah. Last but not least, we have the small Striz, and this is, I think, one of the best selling models. And I did say small Striz, so there is obviously also a bigger one, a large Striz, or maybe it's called like the regular size, and then this is a small size. I'm not quite sure. And this is actually the first Cheburkov here, and the only one in the video that is not a flipper. As you can see, this one has thumb studs. You will not be able to flip it open. You will not be able to open it any other way than using the thumb studs. This one is carbon fiber with some sort of really dark brass hardware of sorts. It looks not a regular regular brass look, to be honest. So we have no lanyard hole on this. We have some nice brass backspacer, pocket clip, etc. The blade here is M390, so no Damascus nor any laminated steel of sorts. So let's flip it open. Really good snappy opening action here. And I did say flip, but when you open it with the thumb studs, I'm not actually sure what you call opening it with the thumb studs. I'm gonna say flip it open anyways. So really stylish looking knives, quite simplistic in some sense, sort of like a gentleman's pocket knife, I'd say. Not overbuilt in any way, not tactical or anything, just plain useful. Large hands, size 10, you all know that by now. But you can see that even though this is the small Striz, I do have quite a lot of space here on the handle. So that is not an issue in any way or sense. You got some really light jimping here, but probably sufficient to give you a bit of extra grip. And this one is, all that knives we have taken a look at has been frame locks, but this one, no, not all of them. My special Ruski is not frame lock, it's a liner lock, and this one too is a liner lock. I can see now the battery icon on my camera, the battery is dying. So I'm gonna try to end the video, or this segment right now. There is no blade play. You got some nice, smooth closing and super snappy opening action. I can totally see why this is a popular model, and I would pick it up if I could, like I've said with many models, but I have to go with the ones that I really want first, and then I will start picking up the leftovers, or whatever you want to call them. I can see myself having quite a large Cheburkov collection in the not too distant future. But let's pack this one down here again. And this concludes the segment here for the knives that I have not bought. But I will probably pick up both the Rhino and the Colibri, because those knives, the design just speaks to me. They are a work of art. And so are all of the knives from Cheburkov. There are many more models that we haven't even taken a look at to begin with. This video has actually been in the making for a couple of weeks now that I'm shooting this very segment. And from the very get-go, I had already 4 knives from Cheburkov. One being this fixed blade, the Huntsman, or the Hunter. Man, I really need to learn the name of that one. Then some folders, the Medved, aka the Bear. Then we have the Ruski. And finally we have two of these goods ones, which is also my favorite folder from CHEBURKOV. So these were the knives I had before I even started making this introduction video. And then we added on a couple of knives, and those are the knives we're gonna take a look at right now. So I'm gonna put these away. And now we can start looking at the knives that are added to the collection, starting off with the fixed blades. So this is, as we all know by now, the Scandinav. That one I felt I definitely needed. I've been longing for this blade for quite some time, as I've already mentioned in this video, or I think I mentioned that. Then we have this one that I decided that it would be a nice addition to the collection. This is the, well, I'm not 100% sure about the name actually, but it could be the Sea Lion or the Aqua Lion or something like that, but it is a nice knife nonetheless. Then I decided to go with one more fixed blade, being this one, the MCH3. So these are the fixed blades that I decided to add to the collection. They are all quite, unique in their sense, or distinguished. So I think they make for good variety in both looks, designs, and actual use. But like I stated, this one, the Scandinav, is of course my most looked after fixed blade from CHEBURKOV. I wouldn't mind adding a second one in the future, perhaps in some nice wood scales or whatnot. Thinking that I should maybe change or zoom in a bit here. Give me a second. I should perhaps have zoomed in from the beginning, but you live and you learn. So Scandinav, Aqua Lion, Sea Lion, not quite sure, and the MCH3. And I'm not sure what that really stands for, but it is what it is. So 3 fixed blades. I like them all in their respective ways, or not like, love, especially this one. I mean, it's just so, I can't wait to do the video review for this one. It's gonna be really, really interesting and nice for sure. So let's put these away and take a look at the folders that I decided to pick up. I'm gonna put these ones back into their respective sheath. We have the sheath on camera as well. So let's put these aside here and take a look at what I decided to pick up in terms of folders. And I have them all in this little bag here. So let's put them out one by one, shall we? So the first one that I felt would be a nice addition to the collection here, collection of users, I will say, is the Wolf, the CHEBURKOV Wolf. Felt this one was a nice one to pick up. I also decided to pick up something very, very different, and that is the hummingbird or colibri, depending on what you want to call it, which is this much, much smaller knife, but super nice at that. I also decided to go with the Raven. It felt like, a must-have of sorts, and I did in fact decided to go with not only one Raven, but two in some different handle materials. And I should probably put this knife down here instead, would be a bit smarter, I think. So hopefully they're all visible now in the camera. So two ravens, one wolf and one colibri or hummingbird. There are still a few models that I would really like to pick up. I do think that the bulldog is quite interesting. I think that the Striz and the mini Striz are both nice blades with great actions that should be picked up. But you know, I'll have to pick them up at a later time. And then there are models that I haven't even, you know, gotten the chance to see or feel or, you know, mess around with that could be interesting as well. Like the Mini Ruski, the Killer Whale, the Scout, etc. There are quite a number of models that I have no experience with as of yet. But in the future I would like to pick up one or two more of the goods on. And I think that, you know, some people might say, you know, well, you already have two of them. Yes, but it is perhaps one of my all-time favorite folders, and that is why I kind of feel like I want to, you know, go for one more or two more. But in terms of, you know, what I'm picking up now, this is what I'm going with. And there will be many other interesting models released. Maybe they have already been released when this movie or this video is published, or maybe it's still, you know, days or weeks away. And there are also a couple of fixed blades that I have no experience with that looks really nice as well. But these are my personal picks right now. So let's put them away for now, and then we can move on to the segment which I think I will name like final thoughts and conclusion, where we will try to, you know, sum up the this introduction video. Okay, so let's try to put down some words here to sum it all up. To put it simple, I think that, you know, every serious knife enthusiast or knife collector should own at least one CHEBURKOV knife. And if you're going with just one, I would go with a folder. They are not visible because they are all in this bag here right now. But in the best of worlds, I would recommend going with one folder and one fixed blade. These blades are absolutely amazing. I was blown away by their performance. I made my video reviews, the individual video reviews, a few months ago actually. I've just been waiting to release them, but I didn't want to, you know, publish them until the knives were actually available anywhere. And they have been out of stock for some time and at, you know, most stores. But now they are finally, you know, being restocked, which is a very, very good thing. Overall, fit and finish is impeccable on both folders and fixed blades. In terms of actual use, slicing, paper cutting or feather sticking, a bit of woodwork, food prep, I mean, these knives will do it all. And I mean, there is of course differences in knives such as, you know, the Scandinave compared to the MCH3, or, you know, between some of the folders if you compare the small colibri with the larger bear or wolf, but they will all perform. Like I said, I am blown away. That's why I'm sitting here with these many knives now, thinking about which more to get to, you know, complete the CHEBURKOV set. And in terms of folders here, like the Goodson or Hudson, which it is also called, that folder is exactly what I've been looking for many years. which is why I'm now, like I stated in the previous clip here, why I'm thinking about picking up 1 or 2 more, despite having already 2 of them. So this is, I rarely, or somewhat rarely, sit and recommend people that you should get this or you should buy that. I can sometimes have that, discussion in the comment section of my videos, talking about the pros and cons, and like, yeah, for the price it's a good knife, you should probably pick it up, and things like that. But here I feel like, I want to say that in my humble opinion, a knife collection is not complete. Well, I mean, if it can ever be complete, but without a CHEBURKOV, I would feel like my collection of knives, be it folders or fixed blades, that my collection is lacking something. With these blades, I'm feeling more like, well, maybe I can, maybe I can step back a bit now. Maybe I have filled some of the voids. I'm not, like, what should I can't really find the correct word in English, but I feel like, maybe my collection is almost complete now that I have some of these knives. It really made, quite an impact, quite a difference in my collection overall. So that is, I've never said that before when I've, made video reviews or whatever, but this time I really feel like, yeah, if I were to not buy that many knives in the future, I would feel, pretty content. I'm happy with what I got, and this was perhaps one of the final pieces of the puzzle, so to say. But that being said, I'm quite sure I will get, a couple of more folders and fixed blades in the future. But having these, yeah, it's the icing on the cake, I think, is the expression in English that I could be looking for, perhaps. So my highest recommendations, that is what I'm saying here. If you do not yet own any knife made by CHEBURKOV, then I think it's time to look into that and change that, because by now I have handled quite a lot of fixed blades and quite a lot of folders as well, and this is something that every serious collector and user needs. I won't tell you which model to pick up or if you should go fixed blade or folder, but I will tell you that regardless of which knife you buy, which knife you get, folder or fixed blade, you will get some serious craftsmanship with impeccable fit and finish and an overall amazing performance. So just go with whatever design you feel will fit you and your needs or your preferences the best. Simply put, I don't think you can go wrong. There are definitely a few knives made by CHEBURKOV that isn't my style, that I will never pick up. But I can tell you that regardless of that, the knife will still perform, the knife will still have excellent fit and finish, and so on. That much I can guarantee you. So yeah, I think those are my final words here. Video reviews will follow this video. There will be individual reviews on quite a lengthy side, so but it is, it's a bit of my trademark making those full reviews. I'll try to make shorter ones as well, but highly recommended. Highly recommended.